probably seen these letters floating around. HSE. Maybe on a construction site sign or company's website, but what do they actually stand for? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain on this fundamental framework that keeps people safe in some of the most dangerous jobs on the planet. Let's get into it. I want you to picture this for a second. You're a worker on one of the tallest skyscrapers in the world. You're almost a kilometer up in the sky. So what is it? What's the system that makes sure you get to go home safe and sound at the end of every single shift? Well, it all comes down to a system called HSE. That stands for Health, Safety, and Environment. The best way to think about it is like an invisible shield. It's this whole comprehensive approach that's designed to protect not just the people, but the company's equipment and, the entire planet. All right, so let's really dig into why this invisible shield is just so important. And look, this isn't just for those super extreme jobs. This framework is absolutely critical across pretty much every industry you can think of, from manufacturing floors to massive oil rigs. See, at its heart, HSE is a much bigger idea than just, say, wearing a hard hat. It's about building an entire culture, a whole set of processes that are designed to manage risk at every single level of a company, from the top all the way down. To really get a grip on this, we've got to break it down. So let's decode the 3 pillars that make up HSE. That's health, safety, and environment. Each one plays a really unique and totally vital role. First up, we've got H for health. And listen, this is not about somebody catching a cold at work. This is about stopping long-term occupational harm. Think about protecting a factory worker's hearing over a 30-year career, or making absolutely sure that someone isn't slowly being exposed to dangerous chemicals. It's all about playing the long game for an employee's well-being. Next is the S for safety. And if health is the marathon, then safety is the sprint. This is all about preventing those immediate, sudden accidents. We're talking about things like stopping falls from high places, avoiding electric shocks, and making sure that heavy machinery has all the right safety guards. It's about stopping those terrible things that can happen in just a split second. And finally, we have E for environment. This is the pillar that really expands that protective shield way beyond the factory gates. It's all about a company's responsibility to the world around it, properly managing waste, protecting the air and water quality, and just generally minimizing its entire ecological footprint. Now, these 3 pillars, they don't just exist on their own, right? They're built on a solid foundation of a few key ideas. You've got occupational health, which we just talked about. Then there's risk management. That's the whole process of finding hazards and figuring out how to control them. And honestly, maybe the most important of all, safety culture. That's the shared belief that every single person, from the CEO down to the brand new intern, is responsible for keeping things safe. Okay, so theory is one thing, but how does this actually play out in the real world? Let's take a look at how these big ideas are put into practice in some really challenging situations. So for our first example, let's go somewhere like the UAE, where workers outside have to deal with some seriously extreme temperatures. And I'm not just talking about being uncomfortable. This is a major health risk. So how does that health pillar of HSE step in here? Well, to fight something like heat stress, companies have to put these really solid occupational health programs into place. This means doing simple but literally life-saving things, like making sure people take regular breaks in cool, shaded areas, and setting up hydration stations everywhere so that staying hydrated is easy. All right, now for safety. Let's go back to that skyscraper we were talking about. In major construction hubs like Dubai, working way up high is just a normal part of the day. The risk of a fall is constant and obviously catastrophic. This is where the safety pillar is just completely non-negotiable. The whole system really relies on layers of protection. Workers have to use specific gear called personal protective equipment, or PPE. We're talking helmets, high-visibility vests, and of course, harnesses. And what's absolutely crucial is that there is strict, and I mean strict, adherence to the rules. Every knot tied, every clip fastened, every single step is part of a very detailed safety plan. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about the E, environment. If you work in the oil and gas industry, just one little mistake can have absolutely devastating consequences for the ecosystem. I mean, think about the risk of an oil spill in a sensitive marine area like the Arabian Gulf. So to protect the environment, these companies have to use really stringent management systems. This isn't just about crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It's all about proactive prevention. That means doing things like regular pipeline inspections, making sure crews have tons of spill response training, and using super advanced tech to monitor everything and catch a tiny issue before it becomes a huge disaster. So we've seen HSE in action. But what are the bigger benefits of actually getting this stuff right? Because it's not just about avoiding bad outcomes. When you have a strong HSE program, it creates this powerful, positive ripple effect that benefits everybody. When you get this right, the impact is huge, and it really all comes down to 4 massive benefits. First, and obviously the most important one, it prevents injuries and literally saves lives. Second, it keeps companies in line with the law. Third, having a great safety record really boosts a company's reputation, which helps them attract the best people. And fourth, it pushes for environmental sustainability. So really, it's good for people, it's good for business, and it's good for the planet. It's a win-win-win. But of course, any system is only as strong as the people who are actually a part of it. So where do you fit in? What's your role in bringing this invisible shield to life? You know, there's a line in our source material that really hits this home. It says that just by understanding these concepts, you're already equipped to contribute. It doesn't matter if you're an engineer, a manager, or you're just starting out. You have the ability to spot a risk, to support a culture of safety, and to make a real meaningful difference. So, I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you kind of speak the language of health, safety, and environment, start looking around. Look at your own workplace or your community or just the industries you find interesting. Where do you see this invisible shield at work? Because I promise you, once you start looking for it, you'll start to see it absolutely everywhere.